Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys / Hono Studio Secret Base figure preview video. Before we get started, I want to say a massive thank you to Ryan Kirkwood for going out in person to Secret Base to snap these awesome high-res pictures. Show Ryan some love in the comments below, because without him, this series literally wouldn't be possible. Now, if you're looking to pre-order either one of these two Stormtroopers, or both of them, I've popped some links to Pop Collectibles in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. When you're pre-ordering your Hot Toys or Hono Studio figures from Pop, you can either pay the full amount up front, or leave a deposit and fix up the balance when they release. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as brand new Star Wars content goes live on the channel. This video is brought to you by JustinsCollection.shop, the home of the figure first aid kit, as well as other accessories to help your collection be the best it can be. The first aid kit contains multiple tools to help you with maintenance, styling rooted hair, and much more. We also sell crotch grabbers, soft rubber tips to prevent damage, and they're compatible with most modern Hot Toys base molds. Acrylic risers come in multi-packs, they're optically clear, thick and sturdy, and stackable. Check out the link to JustinsCollection.shop in the description. I never, in my wildest dreams, thought they would do something like this, because for years now, they've released realistic versions of characters from animation. Clone Wars Anakin Skywalker, yeah, no problem, but it's going to look like Hayden Christensen. But with them announcing these, and getting the price point to be as low as possible, that's why it's a Hono Studio release, not a Hot Toys one. This bodes very well for the future in terms of getting Clone Wars animated style figures from them. Sideshow tried it, but their price point was significantly higher than what these figures are going for. Maybe that was the issue. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to check out both troopers, by the way, in the one video, and these backdrop things, they're meant to look like Imperial recruitment posters, and if previous Hono Studio figures are anything to go by, you need to cut these out of the back part of the cardboard box, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Neither am I a fan of this base mold. It's far too big, and because it's got that backdrop thing, you don't have to display it with it, but if you don't, then there's a big gap along the back of the base. You can't have these bases in front of other Hono Studio bases, because the backdrops will completely hide any figures posed up behind them. They're far too difficult to work with. I wish they'd revise their design for Hono Studio bases. But anyway, at least we get a base. Other companies with their budget figures, they don't give us bases. Now the armor. It's the same across both figures, the squad leader and the normal Stormtrooper. The only difference is the squad leader is wearing a pauldron and he doesn't come with an E11, instead he's got a DLT-19. They've slimmed down accessories. We only get 2 trigger finger hands and 2 relaxed open palm hands. No other gestures, no closed fists. That's some cost cutting at play. The sculpt work for the armor is very crisp. Those lines, I don't think there's washes in them, but because the sculpt work is so sharp and the lines are quite deep, shadows just naturally fall in them. It's basically free panel lining, and it absolutely works here. Because you really don't want to slather these things in paint, it wouldn't work for the aesthetic that they're going for. The undersuit, full fabric, and they specifically mention that these figures are going to be great for dynamic posing. The subtle texture on the armor tells me that these armor plates might be PVC, and that would be interesting, because that would mean even for the torso armor that notoriously is very hard to work with in this scale when it's ABS plastic for ab crunch forward, in PVC, it would be more flexible. You'd still want to be careful, but more range of motion, always a good thing. The bodies underneath the spandex undersuits are brand new for these. They could use them for clone troopers. Clone Wars animated style clone troopers. I'm picturing Captain Rex, Commander Cody, even Fordo perhaps. I'd be down for that, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see what else they're planning on making from this line or the future Clone Wars line if that actually happens. Ah yes, the E11, downright classic at this point. At first I thought they cheaped out. This was reuse from their normal Stormtrooper E11 mold, but I don't think it is. The detail is significantly softer, it's rounder, like the edges aren't as crisp anymore. Everything looks a little bit inflated, which works for the vibe they're going for, Rebels animation style Stormtroopers. Same thing can be said with this bucket. Smooth, quite rounded for the mandibles around the front. It's a pretty big bucket too, and he's got translucent, vibrant green lenses. Plus the soft baby blue lines on the mandibles. That stuff really pops. I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to get, but at least one of each for now, maybe 2 normal Stormtroopers. But this is what I was thinking. How about Hono Studio, actual live action TK A New Hope style Stormtroopers? I mean, just think about it. The potential there is crazy. Huge upside for them. Because we would army build the shit out of them. At a lower price point, less accessories, but still movie accurate. Heck, even go for the PVC sculpted plastic armor if you have to. As long as it looks good and it's movie accurate. That's all that matters. You can have your hero product Stormtroopers under the Hot Toys brand. Full in-box release, multiple accessories, sets of hands, and the canister that always falls off their belt, stuff like that. But think about it, Hot Toys. TK, A New Hope Stormtroopers, under the Hono Studio brand. Maybe even sell them in 2-packs. Food for thought. This is the squad leader, same as the other Stormtrooper, just wearing a pauldron, and he comes with a DLT-19. Could they have done a standard and deluxe Rebel Stormtrooper with a pauldron as a removable accessory? Yeah, absolutely. But this is their way of getting us to double dip. You want 2 weapons? You want 2 Stormtroopers? Well, if the answer was no, too bad. You're gonna get 2 Stormtroopers because now you need one with a pauldron. I've always been partial to orange pauldrons, so I was in on this anyway. Unlike the E11, I believe this DLT-19 is reuse, just because it doesn't have that roundness, that bubbliness that the E11 has to it. This comes across as though it's a real DLT-19. Maybe they'll change that for final production, but I don't think that's going to be the case. The pauldron, for once, PVC. Sculpted plastic. No pleather. But there's leather grain texture on it. Sculpted, subtle buckling just on the edge, the lip, how it curls up ever so slightly. So it goes to show that they can make sculpted pauldrons if they want to. But check out those lenses. I think it's translucent plastic with a bit of green plastic behind it. And they're bubble lenses. So they magnify what's underneath. There's some actual depth to them. This, the correct way to do Stormtrooper lenses if you want them to pop, because they absolutely do. I'm very curious to hear what y'all think about this. Are you going all in on animation 1/6 scale figures? Do you already have the Sideshow Clone Wars ones? Because alongside them, these, I reckon, would work pretty well. I'm, like I said earlier, going to cop one of each, but the door is open. I might pick up a second clean white Stormtrooper as well. Plus, I'm serious about what I said earlier. Live-action Stormtroopers under the Hono Studio brand with less accessories. Just try and stop me from army building them. If they happen. Now, if you want to grab either of these 2 figures, or both, I've popped some links to Pop Collectibles in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. When you're pre-ordering your Hot Toys or Hono Studio figures from Pop, you can either pay the full amount up front, or leave a deposit and pay the balance when they release. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.